Funding for this program is provided in memory of Trooper, an Angels of Assisi Biscuit Fund dog, so that other animals can find a loving home like he did, with additional support from the American Advertising Federation of Roanoke.
They're not the rich and famous. Their profit comes not from the thing they sell, but the good they do. Our nation has more than 1.5 million nonprofits that employ 1 out of 10 Americans, providing services that otherwise go unfulfilled, keeping our community connected when all else fails. But nonprofits often lack the tools to properly promote themselves, to inspire more donors and volunteers and clients to their cause. That's where I come in. I've been in the nonprofit world for nearly 20 years. I connect nonprofits with marketing professionals who donate their time and expertise so that, at the end of the day, these life-giving organizations can do more, do better, by creating more, that's right, buzz.
For nearly 20 years, Angels of Assisi was consigned to the doghouse. Working out of a ramshackle building in downtown Roanoke, Virginia, the animal welfare nonprofit still managed to daily perform feats that would have impressed Noah himself. Consider in 2024, 15,000 spays and neuters, 25,000 vaccinations, 11,000 exams, and 1,300 adoptions. But here in 2025, Angels of Assisi is literally raising the, wait for it, woof on an ultimate new home. And we are positively delighted to highlight and help their phenomenal mission on today's episode of Buzz.
The mission of Angels of Assisi can really be put into a nutshell, and it's to end animal suffering. So the first phase of that is through our veterinary clinic. We offer low-cost, affordable, accessible veterinary care for folks to help them take care of their animals. Anywhere from vaccinations to more complicated things like diagnosing cancer, mass removals. Spay-neuter is a huge part of it, of course.
Leading that mission is veterinarian and medical director Dr. Josette Richmond. Richmond had trained at Angels in 2008, but then went into private practice back home in McDowell County, West Virginia. But in 2017, Angels of Assisi was called into McDowell County to rescue more than 30 dogs, and afterward decided to do more outreach in the low-income community.
So we had a wild idea to do a mobile clinic and maybe see if we could help some folks with their pets. It was a kind of a new concept to us at the time. And I sent a Facebook message to Dr. Richmond, who I knew lived in West Virginia and had a West Virginia veterinary license. I said, hey, we want to do this thing called a mobile clinic and give veterinary care in McDowell County. And she messaged back immediately, I'm off on Wednesdays.
Well, growing up in West Virginia, especially being close to McDowell County, which is one of the poorest counties in the nation, people love their animals, but when it's $400 to spay or neuter a dog, they can't afford that, or their dog gets hit by a car and you've got to have $1,000 before someone will touch it. That breaks your heart when you're not allowed to help, or you can't help because money's the main goal there. And that's what drew me to Angels, was having that ability to kind of work with the clients, take care of the animal first, and then kind of sort out the finances. That just meant the world to me, because there were certain times growing up that I know that if my dog got hit by a car, I'd have had to, my mom and dad would have euthanized him, no questions asked, and that would be a hard pill to swallow.
Under Richmond's direction, Angels provides full animal care for everything except brain and back. Exploratory surgeries, mass removals, spays and neuters, ultrasounds, sick and well exams, and of course, foreign body surgeries.
Dogs and cats eat some of the strangest things you will ever imagine. toys, especially from the toddler, cloth, and stuffed animals. I pulled out a full teddy bear one time from a Great Dane.
A new diagnostic tool that their new home allows, a CT scan.
So with the CT scan, it's going to allow us to have better diagnostics. Right now we have dental x-ray, but like a CT will show you the pulp cavity and how it's open or not. For diagnostics, instead of maybe having to open up an animal and explore to see if there's a mass, that CT is going to show us that there's a mass. And that's going to improve our diagnostics very much.
So phase 2 of ending animal suffering is through our adoption center. And that's for animals that have ended up in a shelter. We do a lot of neglect, cruelty cases, hoarding cases. So we also have an animal rescue, and that's through the adoption center. And we have staff that's trained to go out and help animal control do rescues. And then we bring the animals in to the adoption center. We're lucky that we have a veterinary clinic so they can get fully vetted, blood work, dentals, things that they need. And then they're put up for adoption and get some awesome new homes.
Here there's a weigh station. They'll get their weight, and then you'll sit anywhere in the green balloon area. All right. Okay.
It was this part of their mission that first led Carol Jesse to Angels of Assisi.
About 9 years ago, I saw a story on the news about Angels of Assisi taking in a large hoard case, and they needed volunteers to come down and help. I'd never heard of Angels of Assisi, but something just stuck with me that you need to do this. So that Saturday at 2 o'clock, I went down to Angels, didn't know anyone. They had taken in 52 animals that were in really bad condition. Most of them didn't have hair. Their skin was in terrible condition. I started bathing them. It was really sad, and I felt terribly for these animals, but I was falling in love. And the more I worked with Angels of Assisi animals and got to know the organization, the more in love I was with what they are doing in our community, and I wanted to be more of a part of it. So I became a volunteer most every day, going down to the shelter, and then eventually helping out with adoption events and whatever I could kind of get my hands on. I was addicted, and about 4 years ago, Lisa approached me about this position, and I've never looked back.
In addition to more room to care for animals and the adoption center, the new building allows for expansion of their many programs.
Years ago, a person from the Humane Society of the United States told us there's 2 types of rescues. There's one that invites the community in to their facility, and then there's the rescues that go out into the community. And she said Angels of Assisi is the epitome of a rescue that's out in the community. You're out doing mobile clinics, you're out doing adoption events, and we couldn't have really the community come into the building that we had. So I think the thing that we're most appreciative of now is that we're still going to be that rescue that goes out into the community and goes out and does rescues and mobile clinics and all of that. But now we're also going to be able to invite the community in. It's going to make a world of difference in adoptions.
The Guardian Angel program is a program for people who find themselves in very difficult, sudden situations. Perhaps it's a domestic violence situation, and they won't leave their partner because they have to leave the animal behind, and they're not going to do that. Or it could be a family finding themselves in a sudden hospice situation where there's an animal involved. Or an unhoused person who needs to get into a shelter who has an animal. And of course, shelters will not take the animals. We'll take all of these animals in for a limited time in order to let these families figure out what next steps are. During the time we have them, we will spay and neuter, we'll get them vaccinated, and provide all the care that they need. In hopes that the family can come and retrieve them at the end. If the family cannot figure it out and they cannot take them back, we will take them into our system and get them adopted into a loving home.
Angels also offers a downtown dogs program where folks can stop by and take a shelter dog out for a walk. or on a bigger adventure like a hike to McAfee Knob. And then there's the Biscuit Fund.
The Biscuit Fund allows us to care for animals who have been seized from cruelty and neglect situations. These animals come through animal control to us needing urgent medical care and intensive long-term care and rehabilitation. Not only that, it allows our veterinarians to go to court on behalf of these animals in hopes of stopping this cruelty and neglect.
But even with the new space, Angels still spreads its wings to fly where it's most needed, such as Saliba's Store of Hope.
3 weeks ago.
Well, congratulations.
So we rescued a 9-month-old black lab from a really bad situation.
So one of the reasons this pet food pantry is so important is Angel's overarching goal is to keep animals with their families who already love them and out of already overcrowded shelters. So if we can provide food and leashes and gates and that kind of thing to keep the animals in their families, then that's what we want to do. Did you get everything you need?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. You take care. So we are at the Pet Health Fair today for Angels of Assisi, where we see pets, cats and dogs mainly, for wellness visits, for sick visits, vaccines. We'll pull blood for them and basically give them any services that they need at very low cost prices. What you got going on today?
Just microchipping today. I was going to do nails.
That's it.
I was going to do nails, but no.
Okay, all right. So we'll see probably 400 to 500 animals today. We've got 4 veterinarians. The fact that we are offering such low prices and they are in such need of these services, we know we're going to have a full house every time we do this.
So we've actually been seeing a lot of puppies, which is the most important time for puppies and kittens to be getting their vaccines to really make sure they start their life happy and healthy. We've also seen some older dogs with some skin issues, and that's a very easy fix once you get talking with a vet. It's easy access to low-cost vet care. Some people traveled from hours away just to come here to get a more affordably priced vaccine for their pet. So it's something our community really needs, and we're happy to be here to do it.
It's just an amazing thing what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
it really is.
The low cost. And,
Oh yeah, like most of these people can't afford to keep their pets, and their pets. This is family.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a great thing that you guys are doing.
But there's one big program of Angels that the new building couldn't possibly house. It's Farm Sanctuary located in Botetourt County.
As far as ending animal suffering goes, farm animals are often overlooked. So we do have a farm sanctuary in Botetourt County, and that is home to a few horses, goats, potbelly pigs, farm pigs, rabbits. And the farm is really set up to help end animal suffering for farm animals. It's on a small scale, but for those animals, it's everything. This is our main barn, and it houses our potbelly pigs, and it also houses any type of infirmary animals or animals like, in particular, these rabbits are all part of a court case. The rabbits were seized along with some turkeys and I believe a few other animals in Roanoke City. And they were living in a pretty small area in the middle of summer that was covered up with tarps. And to the best of my knowledge, the turkeys and the rabbits were in together, which is not ideal for anyone. There was males and females in there, so there have been babies that were born that didn't survive. We try to help out Roanoke City Animal Control. They were pretty upset when they got them because it was so hot out. And we're very fortunate at Angels of Assisi that our medical director, Dr. Richmond, does rabbit spay neuter because a lot of vets don't. They're pretty fragile actually to do. So all of these guys have been fixed and microchipped. We do adopt bunnies out at Angels and sometimes from here, but mostly from Angels. But there is an enormous amount of rabbits that end up at shelters and then they come here. This is one of my favorites. This is Willow. Hi, buddy. Hi. This is Willow, and Willow is, I guess you could say, handicapped. When he came to us, he had brewing under his hoof was a severe abscess that ended up bursting. So he spent about a week inside of our clinic and got all kinds of antibiotics and whatnot, but he hasn't been able to use that foot quite right since, so he's in this area because it keeps him nice and safe. In the wintertime, they get the extra bedding, so they all kind of like to bury in, and you can see where he works that leg a little bit, but he's a wonderful guy, so he gets his breakfast, and then every night he gets an extra little snack. And he had a buddy that he came in with who's out there, and we'll meet him in a little bit. But this side of the barn is for animals who are either handicapped or a part of a court case, older. It's just kind of a little extra TLC spot. Millie, right here, she was found as a tiny baby up by Mill Mountain Zoo, and her legs were zip tied together. So her front legs and her back legs were zip tied, and they found her kind of on one of the trails up in there. So we named her Millie after Mill Mountain Zoo, and she's been here since she's a tiny baby. She's still growing, I think. Oscar was found in Botetourt County, and when they found him, they didn't know what to do with him, so they put him in a trash can, which is why Mark named him Oscar. And this big pig right here, he's very old. He's from Florida, right? He's one of the Florida ones, so he was with the rescue with the ASPCA.
This guy?
This guy, yeah. He was originally from Massachusetts, and the ASPCA did a rescue of over 1,000 farm animals. These girls down here, the two horses, are Willow and Ginger, and they both came in from a cockfighting ring. So Willow on the left is a retired racehorse. She's got like the Freeze brand. I looked up her numbers and she didn't win a lot of money in her life, which is probably why she ended up at the cockfighting ring. Ginger came in with her, and the little guy, the donkey behind them, that's Charlie. He's one of everybody's favorites. He is probably getting close to 30 years old now. So he hangs with them, and the two horses are absolutely gorgeous when they run. And then Charlie just kind of lumbers along behind them, and he thinks he's gorgeous, and we think he's gorgeous, but probably not everybody does. So in here we have our chickens, and one of my favorites are the peacocks. They came from a petting zoo that was taken over by animal control, and all the animals were seized, so that's where our peacocks came from. Some of them are white, which I think is a little bit more unusual, and then the usual kind of beautiful. There was a gentleman who went by the name of Brother Giovanni, and he had 40 goats that were his family. He called himself a modern day shepherd, and he would basically squat on people's land with his goats, and he would move them in his old Jeep from one place to another to another. When Botetourt got involved, when he landed in Botetourt, he had gotten a payday loan to get hay, and he had a big bucket of carrots that he was sharing with the goats, and he had to go down to this creek and get water. So they took the goats one night late and brought them here, and then the Commonwealth Attorney in Botetourt, Jill Deegan, got him a hotel room, and we brought in a Catholic priest to kind of talk to him, and he agreed to surrender all of the goats, and then he became a volunteer down at Angels of Assisi because he loved animals so much. I think he was close to 80, and for a while he did help take care of the goats, and then he would help take care of the dogs and cats down at Angels of Assisi, and he also got hooked up with the mission, and we helped him to get a nice haircut and a shave and the whole thing. And then he ended up moving down to Florida with his son, which was a good outcome, and apparently now he has a couple cats, the last I talked to him. But that was one of our most notorious rescues. That was partnering with Brattatati Animal Control.
With all that's happening in 2025, Angels of Assisi might deserve to rest on its hind legs. And get ready, I've got some great puns heading your way. But Carol Jesse wants to continue their pawsome momentum by fetching more community support. And to help out, I retrieved my good friends Bill Gilmer and Heather Dunford from Wordsprint to provide some pro bono marketing resources that are sure to be the cat's meow.
So Bill and Heather, thank you so much for being here today and representing Wordsprint to help Angels of Assisi onto our next adventure.
Well, I'm impressed with the adventure already. This amazing facility you have.
Thank you.
So congratulations.
Thank you. And thinking about what comes next, it would be easy for us to kind of sit back and just take it all in and enjoy the new space. But we've learned from the community that they are supporting us and they are wanting to see what we're going to be doing next with this new space. So that's why we're coming to you to see if you can help us to create a piece that we can take out to donors and show them what we plan for the next 3 to 5 years.
Okay, so this would be some content and some graphics and some printing to create a piece that you could take to a major donor prospect.
Exactly.
Go through it, show them what you do and why you do it and how important it is to support you.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
That's definitely in our wheelhouse.
Yay!
For a major donor prospect, you need a piece that you leave them with that's impressive. It needs to show value and, at the same time, people don't like to read. I mean, leaving a 20-page book or something is probably defeating the purpose. We do recommend infographics, not a lot of text.
Yes.
That type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It convey the message like that rather than with a long article.
Sure.
So, I believe also, Heather, you're big on testimonials, stories.
I am. I think those are what grab people.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of a high-level piece. It would have bullet points, some words, some infographics, testimonials, but something that has enough meat in it that when you leave it behind, there's more for the prospective owner to go through after you leave. Well, this is exciting, and we would be happy to support you. We can provide the graphic design, the concept development, the content creation, all of this with your oversight and proofs and your input. And this is a process that takes several meetings. It's about a $4,000 or $5,000 value to it, but we'd be happy to provide that at no charge to help support you in this ongoing endeavor.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much. This is really going to propel us into the future and show this community what we're going to accomplish.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you.
Most welcome.
He loves people.
I see that.
He doesn't really care that much about hanging out with other dogs, but he loves people. So I live in the Grandin area, and I'm a member of a lot of the neighborhood pages and Lost Dog and things like that pages, and I just started noticing this one dog, which is now we know Carter, was showing up, and there would be all of these updates, when people saw him and what he was doing, and I just kind of became fascinated with it. I think a lot of people did, and I would just check the pages multiple days, and I was like, well, what's his story? He seems like such a sweet dog, and I thought for sure someone would claim him, and so then one day I was just talking to some friends, and I said, I really want to adopt him. So I reached out to one of the people in the local community that was working with Angels to try to capture him. And then also Carol Jesse at Angels, who I knew from working with Bow Wow Brunch, and just said, if you can catch him, I would love to adopt him. So eventually someone did catch him, and that's how I got to meet him and come visit at Angels. A little superstar in the community, and people will just get so excited when they see him, and sometimes pull over on the side of the road if we're walking and they see him, and tell me a little bit about their story and their experience with him when he was on the run, and maybe they put food out for him, or those little treat stations. Somebody told me that he would empty theirs every single day, and that's probably how he was feeding himself. So just the kindness of the people in the community, but it's just so funny when they come up and they're so excited to meet him, like he's this little celebrity. So, I mean, he really just kind of makes me feel like I have a purpose, essentially, and that's just to give him the best life I can, to thank him for what he brings to my life.